you ever feel like the government isn't listening to your problems? Do you ever feel like your neighbor gets advantages you don't for no good reason? Do you ever feel like you're starving yourself just to get an education? Do you ever wonder where all your tax money just disappears to? Do you ever feel like the government cares more about starting wars than ending them? If you answered yes to any of these questions, that's because it's true.
I've done no wrong. Sweet Jesus, hear my prayer.
Hey son, I got a pretty nice bonus at work today, so I got you something special.
Thanks, Dad.
Oh. Hey buddy! We had a really generous tip at work today, so I got you a little something.
Thanks, Mom.
The Socialist Party doesn't want inequality to taint our children. We believe in economic and social equality for all, including the working class, members of the LGBT+ community, women, minorities, and the disabled. The Socialist Party believes in free college education and preschool because we want our children to focus on learning rather than worrying where they'll find their next meal. We believe education is a right, not a privilege. The Socialist Party believes that everyone deserves help. We believe in a single-payer, universal healthcare system. We call for a healthcare system that emphasizes preventative care, respects patients' privacy, gives special attention to the needs of the physically and mentally disabled, and conducts treatment and research unimpaired by sexism, racism, or homophobia. Here at the Socialist Party, we believe that our military's budget is overinflated and operates on too long a leash. Instead of protecting Americans at home, it is terrorizing innocents abroad in the name of peace and justice. As of 2015, 21% of our GDP went to the military. That is 1/5 of our money going to violence and war. We propose the military budget be reduced and the surplus can go to projects such as protecting the environment. We have to ask ourselves what legacy we want to leave for our children. Do we want them to inherit a war-torn world, so drained of its resources that it lacks even air to breathe? Or do we want them to inherit a green sanctuary? At the Socialist Party, the answer is clear.
This is what our current government looks like. Trashy, disgusting, bad.
And this is what the government looks like with the Socialist Party. Vote for me, Sharon Alway. America.
There's just no reason to vote for someone who doesn't care about what you want. I promise to provide for you in every way imaginable. Let's go on a spiritual journey together. So.
I'm here today with Socialist Party candidate Sharon Alway. I'm sure many of us have not heard of her, given that most of the media coverage goes to the Democratic and Republican presidential candidates. So we thought it would be a good idea to shed some light on Ms. Sharon Alway's policies. Ms. Sharon Alway, I thought we could start off with a quick explanation of what the Socialist Party is, for those back home who may not have heard of it.
I'd be happy to, Marie. The Socialist Party is a third party interested in replacing the capitalist values that have permeated every layer of society with socialism, or where the government enforces equality through regulation of corporations, starting and running programs like universal single-payer healthcare, and increasing Section 8 housing subsidies to make sure that nobody ever goes without medical care or shelter, and protecting every single American's civil rights.
Could you please elaborate more on how the Socialist Party stands apart from the Democratic Party? I noticed that most of the issues that you mentioned are also covered in their platform.
That's true. Although the Democratic Party claims to want to crack down on corporations through things like tax loopholes, the fact of the matter is that their funding comes from those same corporations, so they'll never be able to actually go through with it. At the Socialist Party, we have no ties to big corporations, so we will always put the American people first.
But President Obama is a Democrat, and in his 2 terms, he has earned a reputation for cracking down, as you said, on corporations. For instance, earlier this year, the Treasury Department increased regulations, making it much more challenging for corporations to reap tax benefits when deals are made with foreign businesses.
But those regulations are just words. They don't mean anything unless they actually cause change and prevent corporations from forming monopolies.
Well, actually they stopped Pfizer from purchasing Allergen, effectively stopping a $150 billion deal, which would have costed the American tax system billions of dollars.
But isn't it a beautiful day? Would President Obama have an interview in such a lovely place? I mean, look, I bet he has all of his interviews in his office. How condescending.
Okay, anyway. In the past, the Socialist Party has mentioned that they're opposed to the war on terror. Could you please elaborate on that?
Certainly. The U.S. has deemed itself to be a global police force, but oftentimes has no real interest in creating sustainable solutions after it has intervened. For example, Iraq and Afghanistan. I mean, come on, we all know what happened there. That the U.S. involvement clearly led to the creation of ISIS, which is scary, which is generally agreed to be much worse than the Taliban and Al-Qaeda? I think that's how you pronounce it. I don't know. I'm not...
It's Al-Qaeda, yes.
Thank you. And those 2 groups are making a resurgence after the U.S. government has promised they were obliterated completely.
And how would you respond to these threats if you were president of the United States?
The real question is, how would the Democrats and Republicans respond as leaders?
But that's not what I'm asking you. I'm asking you how you would respond.
But, they wouldn't. That's how. The Democrats and Republicans are stupid.
That doesn't answer my question.
They're fear-mongering warlords only interested in helping corporations profit and keeping their heroic image alive by saving people abroad and using their skewed news programs to help keep Americans too scared to question the progress they claim to be making.
Alright, let's move on to the next issue. How does the Socialist Party protect workers?
Excellent question. The Socialist Party believes every worker has the right to unionize and strike, including those in the public sector. We also believe that part-time workers should have the same rights as full-time workers, and 30-hour work weeks are at no loss of pay and 6 weeks of annual paid vacation.
And how would you implement these changes as president, especially with a majority Republican Congress?
That's true. You've hit the issue right on the head. The problem is all those Wall Street suits in Congress stopping any progress and using the common people as stepping stones for their own advancement. They keep us subservient so they can prosper.
So how would you work around that?
Wow, I really like this blazer. Where'd you get it?
Thank you, it's Banana Republic.
Bourgeoisie scum.
Excuse me?
Oh, thank you for your time, Marie. I'm sure the American people are smart enough to realize that they're being duped by their own government and will use the words of philosopher John Locke to do the right thing and overthrow the body that's oppressing them and replace it with one that has their own interest in heart. The Socialist Party.
Thanks, Miss Alway. See you next week.